The torches had long since gone out in the castle's corridors, but Princess Elara was still awake. The moonlight spilled through her window like a blade of silver, cutting across her trembling hands. She had been dreaming again, the same dream that came every night since her 16th birthday. A shadow whispering her name. A hand reaching out from the dark. And a voice, neither kind nor cruel, saying, "Come below, Elara. I have your mother's truth." Her mother had died when she was only a child, but the mystery of her death still haunted the kingdom. The official story was illness, yet no one ever saw her body. No one except the king, who forbade the mention of her name. Elara didn't believe the lie. And tonight, the whisper had sounded so close that she could almost feel the breath against her ear. The descent. When the castle bells tolled midnight, Elara wrapped a cloak around her shoulders and slipped into the forbidden stairwell, the one that spiraled down into the old catacombs beneath the mountain. Her heart pounded as she descended, each step taking her further from the golden world above. The air grew colder. The smell of earth and moss filled her nose. The torches here had long gone out, but faint light glowed ahead, a flickering emerald hue. And then she heard it again, the whisper. "Closer, princess. I will not harm you." She followed it into a vast cavern, where the ceiling shimmered with crystals like frozen stars. And there, crouched among them, was a creature she had only heard of in nightmares, a goblin. His skin was the color of tarnished metal, his eyes sharp and glinting. "You shouldn't be here," Elara said, her voice trembling but steady. "Nor should the truth be buried," the goblin replied. He bowed, surprisingly graceful. "I am Morik. Once a keeper of these halls, before your kind sealed them away. And you, princess, are not the first to seek answers in the dark." The bargain. Elara's fear slowly gave way to curiosity. The goblin spoke with intelligence, not malice. "You said you knew about my mother," she said. "Tell me what happened." Morik's gaze flickered with something like pity. "Your mother came here once, long ago. She made a pact with my people, one your father broke. Her death was the price." Elara's breath caught. "You're lying." "Am I?" Morik stepped closer. "Why else does your father forbid these tunnels? Why else does he keep her name from your lips?" His words stung because they felt true. "What was the pact?" she asked. Morik hesitated. "To keep the mountain's heart alive. Your kingdom's wealth, its gold, its jewels, its endless crops, come from what lies beneath. The goblin heart. It beats still, but weakly. When your father betrayed us, it began to die. And when it dies, your world will crumble." Elara's thoughts raced. The king had built an empire on the mountain's riches. If what Morik said was true, everything, every luxury, every feast, every smile in the sunlit court, was stolen. "What do you want from me?" He looked at her then with a strange intensity. "To finish what your mother began. To heal the heart. Only royal blood can do it now." The choice. Days passed, though down in the cavern, time felt meaningless. Elara returned each night, drawn by something deeper than curiosity, guilt, perhaps, or destiny. Morik showed her the goblin heart, a vast crystal pulsing weakly in the mountain's core. Its light was fading, and with every pulse, a tremor rippled through the ground. "If it stops," Morik warned, "the mountain will fall. The kingdom will sink into the dust it was built upon." Elara struggled to believe, but when she went back to the surface, she began to notice the signs. Cracks in the castle walls. Withering crops. The air itself seemed heavier. She confronted her father at last. "Tell me about mother," she demanded. The king's face went pale. "Where did you hear that name? She made a pact, didn't she? You broke it." He slammed his goblet onto the table. "Do not speak of things you don't understand, Elara. The goblins are liars. Parasites that cling to power through fear. Your mother was weak, and her foolish mercy cost her life. His words were ice, but she saw something flicker in his eyes, guilt. That night, she packed her things and went back to the mountain. The truth. Morik was waiting. You've seen it, haven't you? The decay. She nodded. I want to fix it. Tell me how. He led her deeper than before, through tunnels lined with carvings of goblins and humans working side by side. Once, our people lived in balance, he said. But greed poisoned your king's heart. When they reached the heart again, Elara saw her reflection in its glowing surface, her face shimmering beside her mother's. The crystal held memories, echoes of the past. She saw the night her mother stood before the goblins, promising peace. And she saw her father, sword in hand, breaking that promise for gold. Her mother's scream echoed in her ears. Tears burned her eyes. She didn't die of illness, she whispered. He killed her. Morik's expression was unreadable. The heart can be healed, but only by blood freely given, royal blood. Your mother tried. Now it must be you. Elara hesitated. And if I do this? The heart will live. The mountain will breathe again. But you will not return. The sacrifice. The thought of death didn't frighten her as much as leaving the lie unbroken. The kingdom she'd loved was built on her mother's murder. She couldn't live in its shadow anymore. She placed her hands on the crystal. It was warm, alive. The pulse quickened, matching her heartbeat. Morik began to chant in a low, ancient tongue. The light grew brighter, searing through the cavern. Pain surged through Elara's veins like fire. She gasped, but she did not pull away. Visions flashed before her, her mother smiling, the goblins rebuilding, her people learning the truth. When it was over, her body collapsed, and the heart shone with renewed life. The tremors ceased. The mountain grew still. Morik knelt beside her lifeless form and whispered, "Your mother will be proud." The awakening. At dawn, the kingdom stirred to the sound of thunder. The mountain glowed as if lit from within. The king rushed to his balcony and saw a beam of light rising from the peak, beautiful, terrible, and alive. Then the ground cracked beneath him. From the earth below, the goblins emerged, not as monsters, but as beings of light and stone. And at their head was Morik, carrying the princess's crown. The mountain is healed, he said to the stunned king. But the price has been paid. The king's face twisted in grief. What have you done? Morik stepped forward. What you could not, the truth has been freed. He placed the crown upon the ground. As it touched the soil, flowers began to bloom, strange and luminous. And from the mountain's light, a new figure took shape. Elara. But not as she had been. Her eyes glowed with the same light as the heart. She was neither human nor ghost, but something in between, the living spirit of the mountain. Her father fell to his knees. Elara, forgive me. She looked at him with sorrow, not hatred. I cannot forgive what you never repented. The goblins turned their gaze to her, waiting. Go, she said to them softly. Help them remember what they've forgotten, that light and darkness are not enemies. Only reflections. And with that, she vanished into the mountain's glow.